All right, I want to thank everybody that's joining me on our live stream. This is the free adult guitar lesson. And for those of you that are kind of wondering what is the format of this, this is not a beginner lesson. It's going to be, I'm going to say intermediate with some advanced aspects. And if you're an adult that's wanting to learn right from the beginning, we did a stream previously that you can find 2 streams ago that is beginners for kids. And a lot of the same information will apply to you guys. But thanks everybody for joining us. And I want to thank the volunteers. I have them all muted right now. I'm going to unmute everybody. We have Braden and Doug and Justin and Scott. And so thank you guys all for joining me. I also put in the comments a where to find us link because not everybody's on Facebook. So you can find us on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. It's streaming out everywhere right now. I don't have the comments hooked up really good, so I'm only going to be able to check the comments off of the Smith Music Facebook page and my personal Facebook page. But I really hope people will ask questions and we'll have a really cool time on this. So I'm going to get us going here and this should be some fun. All right. So again, everybody, thanks for being here. And this started actually, we did a lesson 1 with just Justin and Scott, and it was really a live stream test. And it was so much fun. We decided that we're going to keep coming back and we're going to do this every Monday at 3:30. And sometimes some of the volunteers might not be able to make it because these are adults that we're dealing with that, have jobs and things to do. So we'll be up and down members, but that's all cool. And so Justin and Scott, last time we dealt with the pentatonic scale with, as in, what is it? And Justin, you knew what it was. And Scott, I think you knew what it was after you kind of played through it. Is that right, Scott?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. And then we did a little bit of, playing 4 notes and doing some solos using like the middle 4 notes of the scale. And how did that work for you?
Pretty well. You framed it up nicely how to go about it, and just using the 2 notes. Although I think Justin's a little better. I have the slow fingers, so we'll see how mine go.
Speed is not everything. They don't call Eric Clapton slow hand for nothing. And Doug, you and I've worked together for years, and I know that soloing is something that you've wanted to dig into, and we have a little bit. So I felt like you'd be a great fit in this group. And so, Doug, did you cram in remembering the pentatonic scale this morning when I threw you the text?
Yeah, as I taught math to grade 7, physics to grade 11, I threw in a pentatonic scale for about 15 minutes for my own benefit. But yeah, it's been a classroom kind of day today.
Nice. Can I see you rip the pentatonic scale for us? Nice.
Roughly.
That's awesome. And Braden, I know that you've also done this before. And Braden, you're a little bit more self-taught and don't necessarily have all the labels on everything. And so I think you're going to bring a lot to because other people that are going to watch this stream are going to be in the position that you are. So when I ask you, I know you know the pentatonic scale, but when I ask you to play it, are you going to know which scale I'm talking about?
No, I know A, obviously.
Yeah, so you can. So we're doing the pentatonic scale in A. Play it before, but I'm going to. There we go. Oh yeah, we got rock and roll going on. This is going to get good. Okay, so that is your A pentatonic scale. So the topic that I brought up to you guys that I want to do is how do you steal your favorite solos and not sound like your favorite solos? It seems like at first when I brought that up and I texted it to all you guys, I was like, oh yeah, this will be nice and simple. And then I started thinking about it and thought, nah, this isn't quite as simple as I thought. Because the first thing that we need to be able to do is actually determine the key of a song that we're in. So like if you know you're playing in a song that's in the key of A and a solo that you want to steal is in the key of E, what do you do? How do you actually, the word is called transpose, how do you move what you've played in E to A so that it's going to work? Does that question make sense to everybody? Like where you understand the question and then I'm hopefully going to answer it for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So knowing the key of a song, this is a rabbit hole that we can go down in a very big way, but I'm going to kind of graze the surface of it. Here's some general guidelines. A song can either be, if you're talking about it from a classical perspective, it's only in a major key. But if you're talking about it in a layman kind of way, and I'm going to say professional musician like Nashville kind of guys and guys that are out performing, songs can either be in major or minor keys. So the pentatonic scale that all you guys know is in the key of A. And it's the key of A minor. Okay, so when you're playing that pentatonic scale, it is a minor scale. The key of C major is exactly the same key as A minor. So, and every minor, like every place that you play the minor pentatonic, so if you played it in G, there is going to be also a major key. So if you played in G minor, B flat major would be your relative major. Does that concept make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Cool. If it doesn't, if I'm saying something that you're just losing me on, just wave into the camera, and I'll see all you guys doing that, and I'll know that I've lost somebody, and we'll go pick you up and make it work. Generally, the first chord of a song that you're going to play, I'm going to say 95% of the time, that's going to be the key, and you just have to figure out whether it's major or minor. So, and roughly, most rock songs, blues songs are going to be minor, most of them. Most country and folk songs are going to be major. So let's dig a little bit deeper into finding our relative majors and minors, because in the key of C major, you can use your A minor pentatonic just fine. So, Doug, I'm going to throw you under the bus here for a second. And do you understand? So I said that A minor and C major are relatives of each other. So I'm going to go to our guitar cam. So we have, let's get a camera angle that works here. So we have our 5th fret there, and we play our pentatonic. And if I play, the second note is actually C, and it's 3 notes higher. That's the relative major. Does that make some sense? In the key of G, for example, so let's say we have a song that's in G minor. The G minor pentatonic is what you're going to play. Also, the relative major of G minor is B flat or A sharp major. So if you have a song that's in B major or B flat major, you can play this pentatonic scale, and all of the notes are going to work just fine. This is the notes version of finding the key for a song. That makes some sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Braden, did that make sense to you, or did I totally lose you?
No, I get it. It's just like I said, I don't know the labels.
Yep.
So and that's what I struggle with is I can play it by ear, but it's to figure out where it's on the neck.
That's totally fair.
Once I know, yeah. So
Scott, how are we doing? Are we keeping you in the loop here?
I understand the concept, and so will your major key, will it always be 3 up from the major? Like if you gave me a minor, can I go the other way? 3 down is what the major would be?
You can go, Scott wins. So if we're in the key of C major and you want to figure out what pentatonic, so you got, let's do Chattahoochee, country song. C, the A, pentatonic, will work just fine. You're exactly right. If you're in the key of C major, find the C, go down 3 frets, and you'll know exactly which pentatonic you can use.
Okay.
And Doug, is that making sense to you?
Yeah, plus minus.
Yes, plus or minus.
It's just to pick it up on the fly. That's what I'm trying to work on. Is if somebody's playing a song and I want to do a little riff, it's just to pick it up all on the fly and figure out where everything is. That's all.
That's totally fair, and what I recommend and what I do. I mean, I still do it. I'll get on stage and I'll be playing with a band, and everything's coming at you that's new, and it's really easy to get scared. So I ask, okay, what key is the song in, and I figure out whether it's major or minor, and then I look at where my positions are before we ever start, so that I have. So it's a 20-second or 10 second playlist or a checklist before you go into the song.
Right.
Yeah. It's one of those questions that saves your butt when somebody looks over at you and says, "Solo, Doug."
Exactly. Exactly.
So then, do all of you guys know a solo, a small bit of a solo, or a part of something that you really like and that we want to see if we can show you how to steal it?
Hmm.
I know, Doug, that you've done a couple of there's been a couple small solos that we've done. Braden, I'm not sure if you have any and it doesn't matter genre. Genre doesn't matter at all in this.
Yeah, I got some, but I have to try to remember.
Yeah. Okay. Take a second. I'll just mute you there so you can play and see if you can find something that you really like there. And Justin, do you have anything that you know, like any guitar solos that you would be able to rip off?
Um, maybe the lick from Purple Rain, like the solo, that part.
Oh, can you show me? I've never played it.
Super easy if you just want to do the basic part. It's just, and then you can just move that around, like do anything with it really.
Cool. Okay, so do you know what key that song is in?
Um, I'm gonna say B flat major, most likely. B flat, either major or.
Now, one of the ways to find out too is if you think, okay, that's in B flat major, so then what would your relative minor be so you could find the pentatonic?
That would be. I gotta think if I'm going the right way now. G minor.
It would be. Yep.
All right.
So then what you do is you try it out. You start playing that scale over top of the song and asking yourself, does this work? If it does, you've probably found it. If it doesn't, then it's time to go back to the drawing board. This is kind of like the street figuring out keys as opposed to the crazy technical. So I'm just going to look up Purple Rain here, and let's find out what the actual key is, and we'll have some fun. Now, this is the solo at the end you were talking about, correct, Justin?
Yes.
Okay. So. Is it that part?
Yeah.
So depending on how you played I'm hearing it in B, but depending on the chords that you're playing under there, you could have learned it, 1 fret lower.
Okay.
Do you know the chords under that part that you were playing?
We have. It's B. I gotta think because it's not a
Play it for me.
regular chord. So it's like 3rd fret on the G string, 1st fret on the E and B, and you play the open D.
Second chord?
Same thing, but now you add the G as a root note.
Okay.
And then F.
So you're definitely not doing it in the same key that what I heard Mr. Prince doing there, but that's fine. That's all good. But you have it. It looks like you've actually got it in C. Is my best guess. My best guess.
Okay.
That's all cool. The now let's take this a step further. Can you play that riff for me? Like just play the very first part. Better? A little flat.
Yes.
Nice. And that is actually enough to steal. Okay.
All right.
So based on that, I'm gonna say that's a little tough to figure out the key that you're actually in based on 3 notes. So I'm struggling. That's good, Justin. I like to struggle. Now, okay, but those 3 notes would be if you were playing your if you were playing your D pentatonic, that would definitely be 3 notes of that. If you played your D pentatonic starting on your 5th string,
Okay. All right.
okay. So and you know your pentatonic starting on your 5th string?
Nope. Hold on. Nope. No, I don't.
Okay, no, that's all good. That's all good. I knew this was going to kind of go down a little bit of a rabbit hole. I'm going to pause this part for a second because I'm going to confuse you guys. And let's see what Doug has for any solo stuff that he remembers.
Yeah, so actually, this is an interesting comment because I learned the fragmented piece of that solo to the One Country song, and then later in the song they elaborate, and it goes from being 2 bars long to 8 or 10 bars long. So, oh shit. And later in the song, they continue that, working their way down the neck of the guitar for the whole span. And that's the whole solo.
Nice, nice. So do you know what key you're playing in there, like when you look at the chords for the song?
G.
You are correct. Play the chord progression for us for a second, based on all the guesses that I've given you.
It's G, D, E minor, C, and C minor.
C minor is a little bit of a wrench in there, but that's awesome. That's really good.
And I think that's to his voice, but
yeah, no, that's really good. So then you're playing a solo in G major.
Right.
Does that make some sense? So
yeah.
Technically, do you know if there was a song in a minor key, what minor key would actually work with that and where you could steal that solo from?
E minor works and A minor. Yeah, A minor will also work. So yeah, if A minor works, can I use the?
Yeah, so using our
I wouldn't be able to use the A, would I?
Yeah, so using our knowledge of you're on G major, do you count down or up 3 to find the relative minor? Do you remember?
It goes back from G, 3 back from G.
You would be correct. So in the key of E minor.
So E?
That's correct. Is that kind of making sense? Do I got you?
You cut out, so I didn't have any of your comments. Sorry, Paul.
Is that making some sense to you there, Doug? Does that like you're seeing that goes to an E minor? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now. So I worked my way back down to E. I have to know that when I work my way back down to E, that's the E minor. Just like when he was speaking about playing in B flat, you work your way down to G. That's just, that's a G minor.
Correct.
That's correct statement.
That would be a correct statement. This is a tough one, guys. On our first lesson of all 4 of us, this is a real tough one. And it's so critical for being able to do things. And so now, Doug, I'm going to play a rough estimate of the solo that you played there that was, I'll go on Guitar Cam. ish. Those are basically kind of the notes that you're using for the first part. Did you see that, Doug?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Everybody else see that?
Yep.
Cool. Am I boring the heck out of everybody? Or you guys are with me?
I'm with you. I got this.
Cool. Yeah, I've no problem with Justin. How about you, Braden?
I think I got it. My
That's
cam's really blurry.
yeah. When we find out that it's that you don't have it, we're gonna clarify questions because there'll be other adults watching that don't get it either. This is a tough concept. Scott, what do you think? Are we losing you or are we with you?
I'm a little lost. I haven't really done much soloing at all, or actually, I haven't done any soloing. So I'm just sort of watching and taking it in. Obviously, you're starting on with a G bar, and then what notes are you following? I have to see it a few times before I can pick it up, I think.
Yeah. So the whole point about this is your pentatonic scale, and that Doug knows this solo part, right? Obviously, it worked in the song that he's playing it from. So it also can tell you that those notes will work for other songs in G major, very much. So this is like the street way of learning scales a little bit. But now I'm going to take that a step further because I'm saying that that will also work in the key of E minor, say E minor blues, and I'm going to pull up a E minor blues backing track that you guys will see. Thank you, Quist, for providing us our blues track here. Okay, so you guys can see that. This is in the key of E minor. We have E minor, A minor, E minor, A minor, and does C to B. So I'm going to play Doug's solo, but not with the same timing because we start changing up the timing and it'll start to feel a little bit better. And of course, we're working on the fly, so let's hope this works. Actually, I'm going to leave this on here. I'll wait for him to turn around. Okay, he's just an E there. Okay. I'll go to close count. So here was Doug's solo notes. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Wicked.
Yeah, Doug, did I lose you on that?
No, all good.
Since I stole your solo.
Okay, that's
So
okay.
yeah, we're going to continue on with Doug's solo here because it's a really good, easy example. It's not using the pentatonic scale, but it doesn't matter because Doug knows this song is in the key of G. He knows how to play the solo. So now let's say the song is in the key of A instead of the key of G. So A major. Okay. So it was in G major. Now it's in A because he's jamming around the campfire and they're playing, I don't know, what's something cool in the key of A. Doesn't matter. So we have now a cool song that we're jamming around the campfire in the key of A. How is Doug going to take this cool solo part and play it in the new song? So, Doug, do you think you can transpose that up?
I would slide up 2 frets. And then
There you go. So now that'll work for a song that's in which major key and which minor key, Doug?
it should work. Ooh, E, F. Will that be G minor? Can't be E minor. G.
You're close. So play that A, play the A note, because we know that's major. Now, do we go down 3 or up 3 to find the minor? let's see. Does anybody
C.
else know? Sorry.
C.
Okay, let's see if anybody else knows. Who agrees with Doug that C is the right answer on that one? Scott, you got the camera came to you all of a sudden.
For no reason, I'm thinking it's F, but I'm not sure.
Okay, what do you think?
I'm going back from the A, but
Yeah, so you're going down to find the minor. Okay, Braden, what do you think?
No, so he's going, it's A. Yeah, I think he's right.
Okay, you're the.
So if it's in A major, then I believe we go down, so it would be F sharp.
So that is one.
So you're saying F sharp minor is your guess?
I believe if it was A major and then you go down 3, I believe. I
And
could be wrong.
Justin takes the win.
Okay.
I think Scott said F but meant F sharp, so I'm going to give him second on that. And that's the tough part. So this is something that over time, as you get it wrong. So Doug, as you'd be trying to play, with something that's in C minor, play that in A, you'd probably go, something doesn't feel right. I think I went the wrong way. Does that
Yeah,
make?
it's tricky. Like when it go down, so I know I came up, I want to go E minor and up 3 notes, right? Or 3 semitones or tones. That's the hard part, is for me to get from E minor. I can do it on the guitar, but it's how do you stay, and mentally I have to stay in that minor. So, whether it's C, C sharp, D, D sharp, I know how to move through those notes, but then you put the minor on them as well. So once you said F sharp minor, it's like, yeah, okay, that's the off chord in A.
Yeah, and that made sense.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So then, Doug, I'm going to put on a song that is in the key of A, and I want you to use those notes from the solo that you're stealing. It's not going to time up very well because we have a digital latency. I'm going to be playing the music on my side, but we'll see that the notes are working. You don't need the same timing that you were playing before. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna just Google. What do I got here? A major backing track. Okay, so there we go. This is I have no idea what we're going to be listening to. We have a YouTube ad is the first thing we're going to listen to.
So slow, frustrating.
All right, so this is a pop. They're saying this is pop, A major. So do you think you can roll over top of that, Doug?
I can try anything.
All right, let's throw you under the bus. Perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. Does that make some sense now?
Yeah. So question though.
Yes.
So as we're talking about pentatonic scales, the first thing that I do when I'm playing my scales, I go, 5/8. But when I play a solo, I'm going 5/7. So
What's going on
in
there?
a state of confusion, which I live most of my guitar playing time in, how do you recognize when that'd be my second note versus that's my second note?
So that is actually a really good question. So we were in the key of A major, and the pentatonic scale that is it major or minor, Justin? We're going to ask Justin.
The pentatonic scale we know is minor.
Correct. So then, Doug, what that means is that you were playing from that solo riff in A major. As well, your pentatonic starting on F sharp will also work.
Okay.
Now I'm not going fully deep on all of this key stuff because I think I've glazed enough people's eyes over so far. So I'm going to show you now. So we're playing. I have the same backtrack on, okay, and this is an A major. We're doing. Just in the key of A major, and Doug's solo, starting on this A, but this F sharp pentatonic will also work. Now here's back to what Doug was doing before. And I got to hit a nice sour note there too. So the real answer for that is that when you guys learn solo things, you're going to find some stuff isn't just pentatonic scale, but hopefully over time and a few discussions, you'll start to be able to pull them into your other solos. That makes sense? Okay, so now I want to deal with Braden for a second here because this is all about putting labels on things. And Justin seems to be, like, you have a pretty good theoretical background. I think you're following this 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so Braden.
Yeah.
Where is there any questions that you can ask that might make this a little clearer for you?
Well, no, it's coming together. I mean, when you label it with playing on A minor, right?
Yeah.
And then you're moving down 3, right?
So you're playing on the minor, you actually have to move up 3 to find the major.
Once. Okay. But then we're playing that backing track is it's still A minor, right?
This one actually was A major.
So that's major, okay. Yeah, it's just a matter of me remembering putting it in because A. But then you said when you did your last question, you said when Justin was that you have to move down 3, right?
So when you're in A major,
Yeah.
so A major, you move down 3 to find the minor, which would be the pentatonic. So the pentatonic scale, can you play it for me starting there? Throw on this backtrack courtesy of Jam Tracks on Demand in the key of A major, and I want you to play a solo in that F sharp position.
So in here, okay.
Oh, and we're sorry, I'm going to forward you.
Yeah.
That's okay. Actually, it's funny. Starting with the pentatonic position, but then you're starting to move out of it, which is fine. And you are finding other things that are cool. If you stick for a little while with that pentatonic, give you one scale that you always can find no matter what else is going on. It's like a ground zero for everybody is what I'm trying to develop.
So you're saying I just stick and work within that box right there.
For a little while. You can then separately go ahead and do a whole bunch of other things, but do that and find it in a whole bunch of different keys because then you're moving your solos around.
So when you're saying keys, like stick there and then move up?
So it'd be for a different song. So basically you're going to stay in one spot per song and you're going to find out which spot you're staying in per song.
Okay. Okay.
So now Scott is probably the most green with solos, and I appreciate your patience, Scott. And you're coming to us from Newfoundland, is that right?
No, Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia. Oh yeah, right. And there's big problems when people say you're from the wrong one of those islands over there or provinces.
Yeah.
So what time is it there right now?
It's about 10 after 7, or 10 after 6, sorry.
Nice, nice. So then I want to see how much you were able to glean from this because if we can answer your questions, I bet you there's going to be some people that are following that will be able to start to answer theirs. So if we're in the key of well, actually, play me a song that you know fairly well, like that you're just strumming chords for, something like that. Can you do that?
Yeah. It's a little C Sierra. There is a solo.
What do you know? What would be your best guess? Because we're guessing at keys. What key do you think that would be in? And actually, just before we do that, I'm gonna show everybody else what you're doing. So, Bad Moon Rising is D. It's D A G, and it is. There are no major keys. So, give us your best guess, and if you're wrong, we don't care.
I will go with your 95% rule and say it's D.
Okay, so I'm going to now put it out to the rest of the crew. Who thinks that he's right when he says this song is in the key of D?
Sure. I think he's right.
Yes. Okay, Braden, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's right.
Doug, are you going to stay safe and say everybody's right, or are you going to you're going to be the rogue one?
I think it's right. I just tried to play a little riff in D and it seemed to match it.
Okay. So Scott, kudos to you. You nailed it. Now we have to go and say, okay, we understand, we know the pentatonic scale. How do we play the pentatonic scale over this song? So what pentatonic scale do you think you're going to use there, Scott?
I think you can go with the G.
Okay, how did you find that?
I just went 3 up from the D, just a straight 3. Although I think, yeah, I'll stick with that rule.
Okay, so let's put it out to the rest of the crew. Doug, do you think that he's right on that?
I'm gonna say F, but I don't have a whole bunch of certainty there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going. I think it can't hear us yet. Justin, what do you think? What's your guess on this one?
If it's D major, then we have to go 3 frets down, so it's B minor.
Cool. Okay, so that's your answer. So we have an F, a G, and a B minor. And so, Braden, what do you think is going to be the pentatonic scale that we're going to use for Bad Moon Rising?
I'm going with Justin.
That's a good bet.
I am asking Justin last every single time. Okay. So Scott, so do you understand that when Justin said that it was B, that why that might be true?
I do. I just, yeah, I went the wrong way, but yes. So you just count a D, you go back to C, and then is it B minor or B major?
Great question. So if you're on your 6th string on a D, oops, there we go. On your 10th fret, you have to go back 3 frets, right, to find the relative minor. Can you see that okay there, Scott?
Yep.
That is our B.
Just one sec. My son wants to talk to me while I'm trying to be instructed here. Yeah. Because he's not very good at patience.
Hey, what's your son's name?
Cameron.
Cameron, let's everybody give a round of applause to Cameron. Cameron.
I can play the bass.
As
He
you
figured he'd just pick up a bass and play for the first time.
Yeah.
You know,
Nailed
he doesn't lack for confidence.
I love how formal we are here, right?
Yes.
So we're now. I Bad Moon Rising. It's not going to time up because there's this digital lag, but I'm going to play the rhythm, and I want you to use the B pentatonic scale and play a solo over this. Okay, Scott? So where's the B pentatonic scale start?
It is going to start on the B on the lower, you know,
Yep.
seventh fret, or seventh fret.
And you can just
I
pick.
don't know what's going to happen. I know what notes to play. I just can't play them in that way.
So here's middle 4 notes. We're going to pick those middle 4 notes of the pentatonic scale. Stay nice and safe. Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay.
No rhythm for us.
And the rhythm will be weird because there's this digital lag. That's awesome. So you're
That's very generous of you to say.
So I know this is a whole lot of theory to throw into one little lesson, but I wanted to give this to you guys so that as we move forward and we're looking at soloing, we have some information to kind of hang our hats on. And every lesson that we do is not going to be like this, okay? Because what I like to do is get people to understand a concept, and then we're going to start to apply it. So here's what I want you guys to do this week is find 3 songs. Tell me what the key is next week. You're going to tell me it's in, D major or B minor or whatever it is. And then you're going to tell me which pentatonic scale you're using to solo over it.
All right.
You guys think you can do that?
Sure.
Now, the other thing is, this was the agenda that I wanted to push for today, but I'm also open to, are there things that you guys are really, really interested to get out of this? Because we can kind of cover this in any way we want, because, like we say, there's no formal schedule here.
I think I'm pretty good doing whatever. What we're doing now is really interesting. I'm super into theory, and I'm really interested in progressing that and being able to move things around. Transposing seems really fun to me. So
Nice. Okay. And what about you, Braden?
I love what you're doing. That's my thing is I need to sit down and actually learn the name of keys, the name of chords, how everything changes. But what I've been focusing on, especially right now, is synchronizing both of these hands with, up and down and then tilt picking. So as I'm coming into scales, I'm not having to skip a whole string. My pick's already, tilted. But I can't get my hands to.
Yeah. So
this one's faster than this one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in playing, because we could definitely deal with some technical questions like that as well. That'd be super fun. And Scott, how about for you? Because there's definitely other subjects we can broach as well.
Yeah, again, where I tend to just strum more often, something to make the strumming a bit more interesting, like throw in a few of the different, not just the rhythm, but a few individual notes just to make it sound, not finger picking, but I guess it's almost that style. But
so would you be meaning something like you're playing a D, throwing in like the sus, and then
exactly.
Yeah, there's also other things like where you're doing C, like the walks to the different chords.
That's exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a super fun topic. That's sort of like campfire, 101, or I guess probably 201, because that's when it's getting a little bit more interesting. And how about you, Doug?
Well, my issue from the start, and that's timing, where it's like, okay, if you're gonna play this riff, is it a half a bar long? Is it a bar long? how do I know if I'm going to extend my riff? Can I come back on the right chord and at the right time? So those are things that I'm always trying to improve on.
Yeah, and that's a great question. So my final thought on this, and I was looking through, and I'm having some commenting issues. I don't see a ton of questions or anything, so that's totally fine because my software isn't all synced up. But Doug, a lot of this, and this is to anybody that's watching, when you're starting to try to improvise solos, it's a little bit like playing Go Fish, where at first all the cards are turned over. If I remember how to play, it's been years, but basically you turn over a card and you see, oh, okay, that's 3 of clubs, and you try to kind of remember where it is, and a bunch of things get turned over. That's a little bit what improvising solos are, where you're saying, well, I don't know, if I'm improvising a solo, should I be extending this out over 2 bars or should I be extending it out over 4? And it comes from experience of putting on a backtrack like what we've used from YouTube here, where you try it and then you find out what feels good to you taste wise. Sadly, I wish I could give you a more concrete answer, but it actually is that playing Go Fish and finding out what feels good to you taste wise.
Right.
Does
Fair
that
enough.
make sense? And there's
Yeah,
almost
for sure.
Yeah, there's almost nobody that learns to improvise solos that doesn't have hours of throwing on backtracks and trying to figure things out. The one thing that I really, really stress to all of you guys, if you're putting on backtracks, is do not do solos. And I said this on the last one, do not do solos for 10 minutes over a 10-minute backtrack. Play a solo with a beginning, a middle, and an ending to the best of your ability for 30 seconds, because that's a pretty long solo actually. And then just pause, like reset your brain, leave the backtrack going, and do another 30-second solo. When you start to just do the full 10 minutes, it just kind of turns into this hunting and pecking for notes that is not really sounding like a solo. It's kind of, that's not really improvising. That makes
Okay.
sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys have been so fun. I really, really appreciate you being here, and especially on our second one, I tackle like one of the biggest subjects and throw you guys under the bus, and you guys really did wonderful with it. And this is something that starts to make more and more and more sense over time. And we certainly have not covered playing in keys in an exhaustive way. This is a start, and again, I really appreciate you guys. I think that some people that are watching are going to be able to learn something and have some fun and something to do in quarantine. Learn about how to play keys for guitars.
Wonderful.
All right. You guys rock, and I appreciate it. We'll see you same place, and I look forward to jamming with you guys then.
Perfect.
All right.
See you.
Man.
Okay.
Bye.